Three retired US generals recently wrote about a possible coup attempt in the US. The generals believe US military ranks are brimming with potential mutineers, referring to the Capitol Hill riots in January 2021. But despite the Capitol Hill riots, it would be extremely difficult for the military to overthrow the US state. There are two advantages US military officers have in any coup attempt. The first is the sheer implausibility of a coup attempt in America. With the army doctrinally focused on its global position, domestic intelligence agencies have never looked for signs of unrest within the military. Secondly, the sheer size and complexity of the US military means the movement of military assets wouldn't raise alarm bells. A coup in the US is difficult because government and power is diffused far and wide. Power is shared with the White House and the Senate. The US is a federal republic consisting of 50 states, each with its own governor, who has the same powers as the president within each of the 50 states. The National Guard that comprises of 443,000 soldiers also come under the powers of the state governor rather than the president. The military would need to deploy and take over key symbolic centers of power to show it has taken over. This is where it would get complicated, as the US is a large territory and this would require a large force to coordinate in different parts of the country. The sheer size of the US would require the plotters to take over more than Washington DC, but also the centers of political, financial and media power. This means the coup will be large, require immense coordination and still need to be taken over quickly. The key to any successful coup is to create the expectation of success. This would then lead to it becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy. The major challenge for a coup in the US is how to broadcast the fact that the coup plotters have succeeded and resistance is futile. Nearly all US public broadcasting is in private hands, with corporations having their own infrastructure. The media industry is huge, which uses its own equipment to broadcast. Several reports, both private and governmental, have pointed out major weaknesses in the US power and utility grids, which were designed in an era before computers were routinely networked. This makes them extremely vulnerable to cyber attack. A cyber attack could be staged to make it look like it came from a foreign enemy, and the narrative of a foreign attack could then provide the pretext for deploying troops on the streets. The National Military Command Center at the Pentagon is where the military's own communications network is centered. All orders to the US nuclear arsenal or conventional military must pass through here. The small crews who man the system would need to be supporters of the coup, or at least compliant with it. If the leader of the coup was someone with military legitimacy, such as the Secretary of Defense or the Chairman of Joint Chiefs of Staff, it would not be impossible to arrange this. With the US, the key would be to ensure government is quickly apprehended, symbolic sites are taken over under the guise of security issue, then making a broadcast that the military has taken over, possibly even getting the US President or the Vice President to come on TV and publicly agree to this. Once the military has taken over, it will have to contend with the huge US population. This is a nation that has never had a successful military coup. It also has a country that believes in its right to bear arms. So in the end, a successful coup may find the coup easier than actually ruling over the United States of America.